It's time to pop the top off with Pub Talk. Today, we have some breaking news involving college basketball that just broke a couple minutes ago. We're going to talk about Rob Gronkowski. NFL rumor season and trade season is here. Shotgun Round with Brian the Professor is back with us, and Hops of the Week to finish us off. But before we begin, Pub Talk is brought to you by Route 11 Chips. March Madness is right around the corner, and it's time to relax on the couch with some chips, and Route 11 has got you covered. Since 1992, Route 11 has been chipping away to give its consumers a great and tasty product. So make sure you check out your local Martin's Food Line and Giant to pick up a bag today. Okay, lights, beer, action. Okay, welcome back to Pub Talk, brought to you by Route 11 Chips. Happy Wednesday, if you want to call it a happy Wednesday, because there's a lot of sad news going on around in the media.
Yeah, sports world.
I really think we're going to get into a heated discussion. Well, I am. I'm going to get very heated here after this first segment. But anyway, welcome back.
Hi.
Brian, the Professor, thank you for joining us here once again.
Hey,
Yeah,
not a
last
problem.
minute I hit him up in the hallway.
Yeah. So,
Actually, I was talking to his wife. I said, "You think Brian would do the show?"
well,
And she's
no,
like,
no. He asked permission. Can Brian come out and play?
I said, "You think Brian would
Just
come
don't
and do
leave
the
with
show?"
a black
She goes,
eye and go back
She
home.
looked back at me. She goes, "He's not doing anything."
In
I was
that-
like, "Hey, BD, you want to come do the show?"
What's the topic?
He's like, "What time? What's on the show?"
But let's start off with the beer that you two are drinking here.
Yeah. So my good friend Jeff Bile up in Menominee, Michigan, which is just over the border from Wisconsin, where he coaches football, high school football, in a little town called Peshtigo, Wisconsin. He's got a couple of beers, and he sent me along with. We were at a coaching clinic together. We go to an annual one. We've been going to for 19 years together. And we have a barbecue and mixer, and we always bring beer from wherever you come from. And he brought, actually, he bootlegged a bunch of beers, because this is made only in Wisconsin. This one's called New Glarus Brewing Company, and this one's called Cabin Fever, and it's called a Wisconsin-style honey Bock. And I'll tell you what, it's a great tasting beer. I think this would be awesome on a summer day, really warm, ice-cold beer, and you could just hammer this down. It's an employee-owned brewery, and I'll tell you what, it's a great, mild beer. And I wasn't sure I was going to like it right away, but it's a pretty good lager. I
don't
like
know
it.
why the Wisconsin logo looks like a finger.
Yeah, it looks like a fingerprint kind of. Yeah, it's like I
Yeah.
think they've done.
Well, I like
that's
it.
their
It
own.
says drink indigenously.
Yeah, drink indigenously on
So
it.
that means you must be a Wisconsinite.
Yeah.
But I'm trying the Spotted Cow Ale.
Yes, I like that one very much
it
too.
Tastes smooth.
Yeah.
Good, crisp. Yeah.
Yeah, he
It's
only
nice.
had he gave me a care package to bring home, and we drank all the other ones.
Yeah.
We drank a bunch of them before we went to dinner, so there weren't many left. But he did give me a care package to bring home, and I told him we'd be putting them on the show. So those are our all-stars, New Glarus Brewing Company up in Wisconsin, Cabin Fever, and Spotted Cow.
So what did you take him?
I didn't actually bring anything because Throx was
Closed.
Yeah, the Throx was there was just a smattering of things on the shelves. There wasn't anything there. I was just disappointed. I think they might be on the outs, and I didn't have a chance to stop off after when I left school, and I was like hightailing it out.
Could have
So
taken some devil's backbone.
yeah, I should have just done that, and I didn't. But
Okay,
there was plenty of that there.
Yeah.
The Vienna Lager, there was a
Yeah.
lot of that already there.
Okay, so now that we have the most exciting part out of the way, let's go ahead and start off. I wanted to talk about. I had the script ready until just about, I want to say, a half hour ago. Yeah. I just wanted to talk about the conference tournaments. It's conference tournament time for college basketball. The March Madness is around the corner, but people, it's not madness for the tournament anymore.
It's just March basketball.
It's literally just basketball in March. That's all it is.
Yep.
Because apparently the NCAA has come out and said that there will no longer be the tournament will no longer have excessive fans in the stands.
They'll be
now.
played in front of no fans, no additional fans.
The only fans that they will have are immediate family, faculty.
Limited
staff.
family attendance and essential staff only. That's what ESPN released. What the NCAA had handed down, which is a damn shame. I was a part of last night. I was lucky enough to be asked to be the public address announcer for the VHSL's Class 4 semifinal basketball game last night, and the VHSL released by the third quarter. They released a message, and I had to say it in front of the crowd that the players would not be able to shake hands after the game, and I thought, you have to be the dumbest motherfuckers I've ever heard in my. These kids are playing on the court. They're touching each other.
Yeah, the entire game.
They're handling the ball in front of each other. Right. We're in a gym packed with probably upwards of 1,000 people. Mm-hmm. We're all packed together already, and the least and in the spirit of sportsmanship, they didn't want them to shake hands after the game.
Well. My brother and I just received emails from our respective schools that when it comes to education, they will be not holding classes in class, so it's not in class anymore. Yeah. For the next couple of weeks.
They went online?
Yeah.
Which you know what that means for us, don't you?
Yeah, it's just down the road. Well, here's a funny thing. Last block, I was talking to my students, and we were talking about all these schools.
Thank God it doesn't. I'm sorry. Thank God it doesn't affect me because I still have to work there. I need to make some money, but thank God it still doesn't affect me.
I know. But you got to think about essential employees who work at a university.
They ain't going
like
to pay
CJ.
people who aren't there. That's crazy, especially if they're
yeah. And it's funny because last block we were talking about all these schools and some of my students, older siblings are home for spring break, and they were saying, well, so and so doesn't know, so and so doesn't know, and I was saying, well, the big schools in the state haven't done anything yet. I mean, Mason hadn't made any decision yet. Nothing from Madison yet. Tech said, well, we're kind of waiting and watching.
They just pulled the trigger.
And
Madison
no sooner did I get that out of my mouth.
I want to say 2 hours ago. Yeah.
15, 20 minutes later, up pops on my email. Note from the president of University of Virginia. In lieu of coronavirus. Next thing you know, boom, it says
COVID-19.
COVID-19 has caused us to close the University of Virginia. When
none of us can have an upper respiratory infection. You can't have a cold.
And they listed it out that they're going online after break, and they said, and the letter states dramatically, we will re-look at it as of April 6th. And it may, and
April 5th.
And it may go all the way to the end of the semester.
Wow.
In their letter.
Wow.
Can you imagine being a fifth year, getting ready to graduate at UVA, and you can't walk the grounds because of this shit?
Right. Right. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
But they said...
and who knows, by the time this even blows over, this shit's gone. I mean, it's already done. It's already under control.
Yeah. I mean, for me, it's phenomenal. The big eye approach. It's like their eyeballs all sucked into one big one at these universities over this crap. And this goes along with this whole tournament shit too.
Like I said, I'm glad that I still get to work, but I don't understand how the media just looks themselves in the mirror when they go home at night and say I think I just ruined somebody's life today. And go, all right, let's go make a sandwich or something like that.
Well, no, it's all about the money, man. Because I mean, they've got hysteria so bad right now.
I know
that people can't walk away from the set
or
the internet, and they think they're going to miss something. Right. So you're a captive audience for them, and hence they can make as much money as they want. Because it's all about
they've got you held hostage to their station, waiting to see what else is going to happen.
Yeah,
and the thing that gets me is I understand that there are people that are genuinely afraid, and I get that. I mean, if I was 65 years of age and I had some
respiratory or some pre-existing condition.
Or if I was in a state of ill health, let's say I was coming off of a surgery and my immune system was compromised. Yes, it would bother me and I would be fearful. Or if I was undergoing chemotherapy and radiation where my immune system was compromised, you're damn right I would be bothered. I would be fearful that something as simple as a cold would lead to pneumonia and maybe threaten my life. You're damn right I'd be worried about that. But for the average high school kid, 18, 25, 30-year-old, 40-year-old man who's in relatively normal, good health, give me a fucking break. Are you kidding me?
Well, and what I find so interesting about all this is they've gone over the deep end. I mean, how many deaths we have in the country right now? About 35?
Right. Well, we've already lost.
We've had 130-some kids die from the flu this year, and they've never spoken a word about it.
Right. No, there's, 15,000 deaths from the flu already?
From the flu. And
this year.
Nothing said about it.
Nothing. There was 14 million cases of the flu. People stricken with the flu. 14 million people stricken with the flu. Now, granted, this stuff is bad, but fucking the case of measles, just measles alone has an infectious rate of freaking 18 times more freaking deadly than this fucker, man. Give me a break. It's crazy.
But yeah, it was interesting in the UVA letter. You were talking about employees.
Just thinking mosquito bites killing people.
West Nile virus, and But they were saying in the UVA letter, the university's still going to be open. People are still going to be working. It's just no classes.
Yeah.
So if
they ain't going to get.
Well, you know
we
what?
ain't going to get much.
I'm taking
work
an
done.
online class. How does that affect me? I got to go to the
You have to
university.
meet in person now.
Well, I have to go. I'm supposed to go in 2 weeks to take my midterm in 2 weeks.
Where?
At LCC.
Oh. Well, it'll be interesting to see what the community college does over here.
Because that's where I have a proctored midterm exam. It's a big one too. I mean, it's huge. I have freaking huge network exam coming up.
Well, for me, I work in athletics, and so luckily in my field, I'm still going to have plenty of work to do because the athletic season is already in the spring.
And they
season
want that
is
shit
already
clean and disinfected anyway.
Yeah, the Ivy League has already canceled all of their spring sports. The Ivy League. You're not very smart, people. You are not very smart and highly touted. Harvard, Yale. You all are stupid.
Now they're just a bunch of panty wastes.
Yeah.
But
we were not supposed to talk politics, but we all know what side those universities are.
I know, but what I wanted to say was at least I'm
They're
glad
slanted
that
this way.
at least I'm glad that I'll still be able to work because we're in mid-season. Football is about to start back up for spring season.
Well, you know how much I thoroughly
those.
enjoy the NCAA and their decisions. You know how much I do. But the big thing that I take out of this is the NCAA is definitely going to suffer revenue issues with this.
I'm surprised that they even went through with it because of that reason, because they're always, hey, you can't make money, but give me money. That's all they care about.
Well, you'll still have sponsors to watch the games. It's not like they're not going to play the games. They just won't be playing them in front of fans. People are going to watch the games. So there will be definitely TV sponsors and things like that. So they won't lose out huge. So you lose out on the arenas and things like that. And the arena loses out on the concessions and things like that. So revenue is going to affect some of these locations. But I shake my head when it comes to this kind of thinking.
So is part of that essential staff going to be television crews?
It has to be.
It has to be. Yeah, they're going to film this shit.
They will
I guarantee
not
you.
give up broadcasting the game.
No, they won't.
Especially on those big networks.
And I saw this
way.
thing on ESPN. They were talking about NBA games maybe being played in arenas and stuff, and they interviewed LeBron James, and he goes, "Well, I'm not playing. If there aren't no fans, I'm not playing because this is why I play because of the fans.
Yeah,
I'm not playing
but he
in
backed
games.
off of that a little bit.
Yeah,
though.
no shit.
Yeah,
no shit.
When somebody in the main office called in, and
yeah,
said, hey,
Magic Johnson just called him right after. He's like, "What the fuck are you doing, man? You're wearing my number, and you think that you."
Well, the thing is, he's still going to get paid one way or the other. So whether or not there's butts in the
he's going to
seats
get
or
paid
not,
because of endorsement.
Yeah,
deals,
he's
exactly.
just going to get paid.
Right.
So
I don't know.
But what was interesting, because even before the announcement came out that they were going to, do this with the tournaments, the state of Ohio, and then we were talking before we came on, that the governor said any place that has more than 1,000 people, you can't do it. And of course, Dayton, University of Dayton is trying to get in. This is the farthest they've ever been.
Yeah.
And when they said that they wouldn't play because the first round's played in Dayton,
That's
and
awesome.
they closed that university down. They had riots in the streets. The students went ape shit. They had to use tear gas, everything else. They were firing tear gas canisters, telling them to disperse, leave the university.
Oh yeah,
I mean,
it
how are
says
Yeah.
riots break out following the university's announcement of a temporary closure.
Yeah.
Well, that has to come.
They rioted after campus closes down.
Well, that's also another thing at campuses you have to think about. What about student housing? Like, these kids are like, they're buying plane tickets, having to go back to school, commuting back to school. It's like they need a living arrangement, and this was not thought out very well. I could promise
Well,
you
I
that.
tell you what, in the long run, the universities pull this shit. And if I'm a parent and I'm paying tuition, I'm paying room and board, I'm paying a meal plan, and they're not there using it, I expect what back?
Yeah.
You
I
can
want
keep
reimbursement.
You
I
can
want
keep.
I want my money back.
Yeah, you can keep the
or
tuition money.
Next semester, I want it fucking slashed.
Yeah, I want my money back because if I'm paying for a dorm room and they're not using it, and they're paying for a meal plan and they're not using it, I expect my money back.
We're going to look back on this next year, in the year after, and say, once again,
Oh, yeah. I
the
was
media
gonna see this.
is fucking stupid.
Yeah.
Like, they have no idea what news is.
Your mother sent this to me earlier
I
today.
just
and it
texted
says-
my
it
boss,
says here,
who, we keep in close contact all
Yeah.
the time, and like, I told her that like it's ridiculous that this affects. It doesn't
says-
really affect us, but it's scaring people for the wrong reasons. They want you to be safe, and I love that about them. But they're also putting in their heads, run, like that. Like
Yeah.
that's what they're trying to say. Like,
Well-
don't go out, don't communicate, don't do anything that a normal human
Right.
would do.
Well, I mean,
it says
just
coronavirus has a contagion factor of 2. SARS was 4. Measles is 18.
yeah. Well, here's another thing too with this whole mass hysteria, and just, I mean, thinking about it, you've got cops being called to Costco because of fights and riots over
fucking
toilet paper. I mean, it's gotten to a point. It's gotten to a point
Yeah.
now that I'm taking it from the standpoint that this will blow over just like anything else does.
Mm-hmm.
As long as you do the right things, you're going to weather the storm. But my wife and I were talking today at lunch, and I said, if we have to stay at home for 2 weeks, we don't have enough food in the house for 2 weeks. I said, should we start buying stuff? And she goes, I don't know. What do you think? I said, well, if we don't go do it when we need it, there's nothing going to be there because the panic buying is going to start. And now, with all of a sudden all these universities starting to close the door, and it's a cascade effect.
Yeah.
Universities are closing. Next thing you know, it's going to be public schools.
Yep.
And
People are going to be stuck indoors, and they're going to eat themselves out of house and home.
yeah,
Dogs and cats living together. It'll be total mayhem.
yeah.
Well, it says for
I'm probably going to
JMU
kill
that-
my 16-year-old daughter.
Right.
Well, it says for JMU that all of next week, completely, like, no classes whatsoever, no in-person. But after that, they say that you are allowed to have specific classes held in class. Like, there's no way
Health
that they're going to
class?
have... Yeah, there's no way they're going to have gen ed classes. That's
Well,
just
now
stupid.
you're not going to get any of the sitting in the auditorium with you
Yeah.
and 500 other people.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It has to be major classes.
You can
that will-
cancel your medieval languages class. Maybe.
Yeah. Maybe the whole 5 of you.
Right. Right.
As long as you don't
right.
shake hands when you go in there,
Right.
it'll be all right.
Hey, Professor Psych, I'm safe.
Yeah. Oh, did you see that in the film where Prince Charles got out at some thing in Britain, and he went to shake a guy's hand and twice the guy wouldn't take his hand, and he started bowing, and then it all dawned on the prince, I'm not supposed to be shaking anybody's hands.
What the hell is wrong with people? What is wrong with them?
Yeah, he went to
Holy
reach the guy and shake the
shit.
guy's hand, and the guy pulled his hand back, and the prince put his hand out again, and he pulled it back again, and then the guy bowed.
Here,
to
I'll
him.
shake someone's hand. You're going to die in 5 minutes. Have fun.
Oh my God, I don't know.
Okay.
I can't wait till this blows down to the freaking public schools.
Okay.
What are we gonna do? I can't get kids to do work in school.
Well,
get them to do when they're at home.
Can't keep them off the drugs. They want to stay safe. They're going to take more drugs now. What the hell?
Well, in our standpoint too, like you said, we can't get them to do anything in class. Can you imagine trying to get them to do anything at home?
Yeah, I got a couple kids who don't have
Internet.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if you try to do anything online in the public schools, you're going to have a large segment of the population that doesn't have internet access. What the hell are you going to do about that?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
I'm going to give them all passing grades.
Well,
you did great on that.
I tell you what's going to happen, because the state's going to have to get involved somewhere along the way.
Because we're going to have SOLs coming up too, buddy.
So they're either going to forgive all that shit.
No, it's literally a shit out of luck test.
Yeah, it'll be a shit out of luck test, because will they keep you that everybody gets a wave this year and you have to do it next year?
Oh my God.
Can you imagine? Okay, we're waived this year, but when you come back in the fall, we're going to have you take it then.
Oh my God.
Can you imagine the state doing that?
If I hated geometry my
Yes, I
sophomore
can.
year, I would
I can
definitely
see that
hate my
happening.
junior.
Or them saying, okay, state of emergency, attendance doesn't count against you this year, but you still are accountable for the testing. Not
I was
now.
a COVID-19.
Yeah.
I was a COVID-19.
I was wanted for murder.
Or is that going to be an asterisk on your diploma? Well, it doesn't really count because you went through COVID.
My junior year was COVID-19.
So there's an asterisk. It's like going to the Hall of Fame with the asterisk because you were on roids or something.
Right. Yeah. I passed my SOLs COVID-19 at the bottom.
Yeah, COVID-19.
Okay. Enough. Like
that's like
I
Monsters
had a lot
Inc.
of stuff.
2319.
We have a 2319.
Yeah, no,
2319.
everybody in the hazmat suits drop out.
Yeah, it was the little minion guys. They come out and shit.
Okay, like I said, I was going to talk about college basketball, but we've already ran a lot of time on it.
We just did. Yeah, okay.
Well, I mean, but in a situation like that, I mean, you're thinking about the rest of the regular season is shot.
Yeah.
Because once these universities close down, there's not going to be anybody
What about
coming.
baseball season?
Yeah,
coming
you
up here?
got Major League Baseball's coming out of spring training. They're going to get ready to open up here next month. So what's that going to do about opening day? What are you going to do with the XFL? Because one of the ticket takers or one of the guys out on the West Coast, one of their concessions guys, came down with coronavirus in, I think, San Francisco. So what are they going to do? The XFL? I mean, they're struggling.
He's probably already healthy by now.
Yeah,
He's
probably.
already passed.
So what
it
are they
over.
going to do with that? I mean,
I saw some dude. I was watching. I went to the doctor yesterday, and don't get me started on those motherfuckers. But I went to the doctor yesterday, and I was watching the news because they're showing the corona shit on there. And there's some guy who was on that on board the ship, and he's been in isolation. No shit, for 30 days because he keeps testing positive. They've tested him, I don't know, 7 or 8 times, and he keeps coming up positive for coronavirus. And you know what?
Nothing happened.
He's suffered no effects from it. And he's a 60-year-old man. He goes, I've never been sick. I walk, I exercise, I'm perfectly fine. They keep testing me. They can't find out why I keep testing positive, but there's no symptoms, signs or symptoms. And
which means there's something wrong with the goddamn test.
And I'm like, well, there you go. He's been in quarantine for over 30 days because he keeps testing positive. And I was like, okay. I put my book back on. I'm listening to a book on World War I.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
it's really good. Barbara Tuchman.
Yeah.
Guns of August.
I mean,
Guns of August, yeah.
I hate
Good
people
book.
enough as it is, and so like at work, if there's less people roaming around and it's just the athletes, I'm gonna be okay with it. I'm gonna be okay. Okay. Rob
All right.
Gronkowski. Let's move on. We've already
Yeah.
talked 24 minutes on this shit.
Oh, man.
Rob Gronkowski could be headed to the WWE.
Sorry.
What?
I'm not feeling very well.
Rob Gronkowski could be headed to the WWE. It looks like there is a big deal
Yeah.
about to go down.
I did see something on I was looking at ESPN right before the show began. They are really, really close to a deal. It has not been finalized as of the timing of the article I read. It's really close, though. They're being really mum about it.
And when this happened,
Uh-oh.
Oh, it's a guy retiring from WWE.
oh, but it's Gronk staring
There.
him down. Well, this is what I see when I think of Gronk. I think of that scene from Dumb and Dumber saying, like, you go and do something so stupid, then you come back with this. and totally redeem yourself. This is what I think of, because Gronk is the perfect type of person to have in a sport like celebrity wrestling. It is a perfect spot to have him in there. I think that he was perfect when they started looking at him, and now it's even better just because of the type of person
I think he's the type of guy that I don't think he gets head over heels involved in this full time. I really don't. I don't think he's that foolish, because it is a big wear and tear. I know it's sports entertainment.
He's going to have to get big again.
No, it's sports entertainment. And you look at the career of these guys in the WWE, and these guys suffer significant injuries. They suffer head, neck, knee,
tears,
back. They suffer all kinds of terrible injuries. They resort to roids. They resort to using all kinds of injuries. They suffer or using all kinds of drug therapies. They suffer all kinds of things. He gets involved in this shit, and he's actively involved in this. And I say goodbye to a comeback. Say goodbye. He's
already stated multiple times that he doesn't want to come back to the NFL.
I know that. I say that. And the reason why is he has saved his money. He did it the right way. He's lived off his endorsements.
He's never spent
a dime. He did it the right way. He's won 3 Super Bowls. He's a 5-time Pro Bowler. He's a 4-time All-Pro selection. He's a member of the 100th anniversary All-Pro team. 100th anniversary team.
After playing 8 years.
Right, yeah.
8 years.
Yeah, he's done it all. You get involved in this, and there's no chance for him to come back.
The way I look at it, too, is, like you said, I think he's not necessarily on the wrestling side. It's more the entertainment factor.
I get that, but you still have to be.
Yeah, he's gonna.
I mean, you're not 6'7", 260 pounds,
he's gonna,
and you're not going to.
He's going to look like he's going to do something, but I think it really is purely for the entertainment value.
Yeah.
To get butts in the arenas.
Yeah.
Gronk's there, and he'll do something stupid and whatever. It draws a crowd.
Right.
But you think about it, how many guys out of the WWE have made leaps into other aspects of entertainment? I mean, think about the millions and millions and millions of dollars The Rock has made.
Yeah.
Cena's made.
Yeah. Stone Cold has.
Hey, I still pull a Ric Flair every once in a while.
Well, and think about the guy that the Mexican Latino guy that was in even the Bond movie is one of the Bond bad guys in Skyfall, or not Skyfall, but
I don't know.
Spectre.
The guy that kept beating on him.
Dave Bautista.
Yes, that's
Dave Bautista. He's a beast too.
Yeah, Bautista. He's Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy, and he's.
Oh yeah,
former wrestler too.
He made a quantum leap. I mean, and he's coming out with a new movie. Yeah. And he's done very well for himself.
So
I see that.
I kind of see that as his stepping stone towards that.
Right.
This entertainment thing, he's going to play around a little bit, get well known outside of football with other people. Of course, you think probably wrestling folks are still football folks too.
Maybe,
but it builds that bridge
so.
To get deeper into something else in entertainment.
Could be.
Quick thing about Dave Bautista, he would know about this more. So there was a tweet about wanting to make a Gears of War movie. He said have Dave Bautista play as Marcus Phoenix, and he was like, "Bro, I have tried so hard to get this movie to go, but people will not have it. But having him as Marcus Phoenix,
right? He has the voice and everything.
Dude, he has it perfectly.
He's got the facial features, the whole body, and everything.
And every Gears character is ripped too.
And remember, he first got started doing movies when he was doing that one with Vin Diesel when he was playing that sci-fi guy.
No, he was Guardians of the Galaxy.
Well, even before that, but whenever Diesel was doing Riddick, the Riddick films, where he's on that one planet.
I never saw that.
He was part of the mercenary crew.
I have never seen
that was his first movie.
Series of what was it?
Chronicles of Riddick.
Chronicles of Riddick. Okay, yeah.
That was one of his first big movies.
I've never watched those. Yeah. Wow. I like kind of that sci-fi stuff. Yeah. I really do. Yeah. But I love Dave Bautista. I love his whole persona and stuff like that. I love him as Drac in Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah. He's really good. But But maybe he is making that leap into the entertainment world, and you never know. Vince McMahon is not a dummy. He attracts talent because he sees certain things, and he'll get the most out of Gronk.
Well, think about it. I mean, you've got that partnership now between Fox Sports doing SmackDown,
And he works with Fox, right?
And he works with Fox anyway now with their NFL stuff.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's the bridge there. And who knows? He may end up just being the commentary or the entertainment factor with Fox doing SmackDown.
Yeah.
So
who knows?
Because I don't think Gronk's bright enough to go in the booth and be a color guy.
Well, but at the same time,
game.
I don't think he's dumb either in terms of managing his funds.
Right.
Because if you think about it, if he saved all of his contract salaries, and because he was living off of his endorsement deals, he's doing the same thing with this WWE. Yeah. He still banked all of that contractual money from the NFL.
Well,
and you get a nice little draw from the freaking WWE. And I'll tell you, Vince McMahon is no dummy. No, absolutely not. He's a phenomenal businessman.
Do you know his mother is from Western Pennsylvania? She's from Cambria County, from the Evansburg area where I grew up. And when his mom retired, Vince McMahon built a tennis club, an indoor tennis club in Evansburg for her to go play tennis whenever she wanted to.
Well, you're worth a couple $1 billion.
Yeah, it's under roof, everything else. It's a huge tennis, whole big setup. And it was only just for his mom to go play tennis whenever she wanted to. And then he turned it into a club for her.
Well, maybe she's a Pittsburgh fan too. Hopefully.
Well, they're from that. I mean, McMahon's all from the Western PA area. Yeah.
Well, I hope so. So, okay, let's move on from Gronkowski though. NFL trade season starts on the 16th of March, which is not next Monday, but the following Monday, and there are already tons of rumors going around. I don't like leaks. I think that they should be saved for the season. But my God, the top rumor that is spreading around right now is not even going to happen for another year, basically. But if it does stay true, Carolina may be tanking for next year's draft, not even this year's draft, next year for Trevor Lawrence right now. And I've already made this comment. He is the number one pick in the draft next year. He already has made that point very prevalent in his college play. Already has.
Well, I mean, granted, yes, it's a rumor. But what's Carolina going to try to do? They signed Allen for another 1-year deal. So
but it's only $500,000. They got him for next to nothing. They got him for $585.
So, and you've got Cam,
which is like the league minimum.
You've got Cam there. So does that mean Cam's gone? If
Cam's
you're considering doing this, does that mean
16 games in the last 2 seasons? 16 games.
So does that mean you're putting him on the block?
Well, who else did they got? You got who's the other one?
Will Greer is
Will
Greer.
Yeah. Will Greer's just a rookie though.
Yeah.
He started the last 2 games, last 3 games, maybe the last 2 games, and I don't know. Here it is right here. Will Greer starts the last 2 games. What does he do? They lost 8 straight games. So well, Will Greer's not the answer.
So
probably
if you're
forward.
going to play a 16-game season and you're going to hose it to get Lawrence, how do you keep somebody like McCaffrey happy? Playing a year.
Well, I think it's because he knows that. It's happened before where teams have tanked. I think Miami did it the right way though, because Miami is going to get somebody very special, and they did it especially with an oldie and Fitzmagic back there at quarterback.
Well, he's still going to be there.
Yeah, but I think McCaffrey is. I think he's a different type of person and is smarter to realize that, I know who they're trying to bring in, and I've seen the kid play, and I would love to have him as my quarterback. Because he's a completely different person than Cam Newton is.
Yeah.
Trevor Lawrence is completely different. And he would also be bringing in more attention from that area because he's from Georgia. He's from Georgia. And so the closest team to them is
maybe
the Panthers right now.
Well, other than Atlanta.
Yeah, well... Nobody cares about that.
I don't know.
I see that Trevor Lawrence, like I said, he is the number one pick. I don't have any question about that. But Carolina tanking, though, an entire season, you really got to try hard. Especially if this draft doesn't even matter to you, apparently. Because if you're looking to get to the next one. Because Matt Rule just got there, too.
Yeah, and you know, and Matt
what
Rule,
what kind of picks did they have this year, Carolina?
Honestly, like, I think it's a normal draft for them because they haven't accelerated in previous drafts. They haven't done that in previous years.
So they're mid first round.
Yes.
So they were 8 and 8.
I'm double checking.
Probably
I'm
top 16.
I'm checking.
They got to be top
double
16,
checking.
like 12th or 11th.
Panthers will have number 7 overall.
Oh, shit, they're even worse.
Number 7, and
They get 2?
no, I'm just looking at
Oh.
their potential picks. Number 7 to start, and I'm
7th worst team in the NFL.
So do you sell that pick and go get something else? Because if you're going to tank a season, don't you want to go out and get some linemen to protect a
I don't think it's the
corner?
linemen. I think it's the receiving core there that is the very huge issue because
Well, they say this draft is receiver heavy. So, I mean,
I think that it's completely a receiver problem for Carolina because McCaffrey has done everything. He's their leading receiver in receptions
Right,
and receiving yards. That is a problem. That is a huge problem.
Right.
Regardless of how good he is, you do not have a running back as your leading receiver. It's the same thing with Miami. They were the worst team in the league in rushing, and their leading rusher was their quarterback, Ryan Fitzpatrick. There is a huge problem there, and you have to go figure it out. And hopefully Matt Rule can do it. But the Panthers right now, if that rumor rings true, we could be looking at it all season. If like, oh, well, they lost. Well, that's part of the plan now.
Right.
Washington has lost Josh Norman.
I don't think that's any great loss there.
No, he's gone to Buffalo now. He's going to
all right,
Bills
so
Mafia.
they'll pick
Holy shit.
7th in the first round, 38th in the second round, 69th in the third round, 113th in the fourth round. Yeah. So they have a normal draft. Looks like a normal draft to me.
Okay. Well, we can talk about them more closer to the draft once it comes through. But, yeah, he's out of D.C. after
I don't
what?
see
Signing
anything. They're talking Dietrich Brown, defensive tackle from Auburn. Number 1 mock draft.
Derek Brown?
Derek Brown, yes.
Derek Brown from
Dietrich.
Auburn?
Derek Brown, defensive tackle.
He's a big boy, and he is a very good player, but I still don't think that your problem is the defense right now. Because
He's projected in the mock draft.
Okay,
number
well,
7th overall.
let those mockers stay true to their word, but
Offensive tackle at number 2 pick, their number 3 pick, Thaddeus Moss, tight end, LSU.
I think Thaddeus Moss might go to New England.
Well,
I got a couple of
if
other
what
looks
you
for him.
see on number 3 is true,
Yeah, I know.
that won't be there.
I know.
There won't be a need for it.
We'll talk about that in a sec. But Josh Norman signed a huge deal after what? 2015. After a Super Bowl losing season with Carolina. Josh Norman left the Carolina Panthers to go to Washington, signed a huge contract with them, and after he was with Washington, he was bottom of the barrel, mid-league at best.
Average best.
Not very good when it came to being a number 1 cornerback. This was a number 1 cornerback. This isn't like your slot corner or somebody else.
This is
on the
almost
number
like
2.
Revis Island
Exactly.
kind of
Richard
cornerback.
Not
Sherman
even
territory
close.
that we're
Yeah.
talking
Not
about.
Not even
close
close
now.
now, yeah.
And he left Washington. He's out. And he signed a 1-year deal with Buffalo, which is good for him. I think that Buffalo is a very capable team, and I would want to be a part of that atmosphere right
And
now.
he probably got what he was worth with Buffalo. They gave him a base salary, $6 million with a potential for $8 million. And that's probably where he was at. I mean, let's
Right.
You're talking about millions of dollars. I mean, he's worth the money. But I once he got that big money, shit, you know how much hard.
yeah.
If you got a boatload of guaranteed money, your ass isn't working hard.
and it was
especially when
all for 1 year.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
This happens way too often in the
But
NFL.
he got a bunch of bonus stuff, which is kind of cool. I like that.
It's incentives.
I love
Yeah.
those incentive laden contracts because guys then freaking work their tails off. I really like
Especially
that.
towards the end of the season.
Yeah, I like
when
that.
It's getting down to the playoffs.
I love the incentives for his contract because they're good.
This happens way too often in the NFL, where one year spectacular seasons seem to turn out these players, and then after a year they fall off. Like, I remember a guy by the name of I don't know if you guys remember this, Nnamdi Asomugha.
Yeah.
He played with the Raiders,
Yep.
and for a couple of years, it was probably 1 or 2 years, he was fantastic. He was the number one corner in the league. Boom, goes to the Eagles in a big, huge signing.
I remember
Unreal.
that. I remember that.
He fell out. He was awful. He fell through the cracks. He just didn't do very well. Another one, he's still very prevalent, Ndamukong Suh. Ndamukong Suh was with the Lions.
Boom and bust with that
Exactly.
guy. Yeah.
He was with the Lions. Then he goes to Miami on a 6-year, $100 million deal. He is nowhere to be found.
When he played in Miami.
And like these types of contracts, it's the same thing with Norman. I've said it for years. The only reason that Norman was so damn good was Carolina's defensive front four. And then you had Luke Kuechly and Thomas Davis.
Yeah.
When those two were together, oh man, it was on. And you would have quarterbacks making bad throws. You would have basically a guy who knew the offense and knew the plays were coming and would tell Josh, he's throwing the ball to you, pick it off. And things like that.
Well, and that's very similar to, you think about that Legion of Boom.
Legion of Boom.
It was like that. You had that great front seven and the back three, back four.
Byron Maxwell went to Miami. Oh, he went to Philly. He went to Philly after getting left from Seattle. He bombed out.
Yeah. So you think about that. The back four, if you got a great front seven.
Yep.
You look
but that's
spectacular
where it's at
back
anyway.
there.
That's where it's at. When you're front seven and you can get pressure out of those guys, your freaking secondary looks freaking phenomenal.
And that's what happened when those guys left. Sherman didn't look that great, and then he ended up at San Francisco. Now he's got a good front seven in front of him,
and
but
he's
still
aging. He's aging now. Yeah,
he's past that prime.
And like, I don't want to say Redskins fans are delusional, but I told them back years ago when it happened. Like, look. He's not these like $80 million contract worth, okay? He's not. It's like, and I said, it's all because of 1 year. And they're like, well, we had a couple like above average years. And I'm like, that's not good enough, though. He's not Richard Sherman territory. He's not Darrelle Revis. He's not one of these guys who can play every single down and follow the number one receiver. Because guess what he did in Carolina? He didn't follow the number one receiver. He stayed on one side of the field.
Yeah, he played his one side of the field.
Exactly. So,
and Sherman did that early in his career, too. He only played one side of the field.
But then he became that lockdown corner.
But there's a lot of coaches who always believe in a boundary corner and a field corner.
There's
a lot of guys who believe in that system. So, he might have got pressed into that position for a reason. Right.
So, number 3 then. The Patriots, we just talked about tight ends. Austin Hooper, I have been reading a lot of reports that, like, look, Brady might be going somewhere if the Patriots don't figure something out with the receiving and offensive problems. Because clearly the defense was there last year. It clearly was. They proved to be the best in the league. Stephon Gilmore won Defensive Player of the Year. Their defense was at the top of the league. But the offense, what happened? They just got off of a Super Bowl win. And Brady and those receivers and Gronk just looked to be in sync on everything. Right. And guess what? Brady comes back with Edelman. And he still had that connection with Edelman this year. But when N'Keal Harry, Mohamed Sanu, and all these other receivers came in, there was just nothing. It was just awful. And so it looks like free agent Austin Hooper from Atlanta might be on their top of the list when it comes to finding a friend.
And then I read another article right after that, and there was Austin Hooper was in that list as well. But then they were talking about Hunter Henry out of the Chargers was also at the top of the list, and as just an up and comer, just because he's able to catch the ball in the middle of the field. Who's the 49ers receiver?
Oh, Greg Kittle?
No, the receiver.
Oh, Emmanuel Sanders?
Yeah, they were talking about him possibly, but he's a 30-year-old receiver. The Patriots don't need another 30-year-old receiver.
But think about how many guys have ended up going to Miami or going to New England late in a career to get restarted.
Yeah, I mean, it's happened before.
Yeah.
But they need a lot of help at the tight end position.
Well, what Brady typically needs, he needs that He needs that tight end who's the security blanket, and he needs somebody to be able to stretch the field.
Right.
And he doesn't have either one of those two. So that's what Belichick's got to get for him if he expects to keep him.
You need a good tight end. What NFL team doesn't need a good tight end or two?
It's what makes successful teams. If you don't, I don't want to say. Go ahead, Doug.
I was just going to say, if you have that good, strong tight end, maybe a second or a backup, and you got a guy like Edelman who's healthy, a Mohamed Sanu who can threaten the field. You got N'Keal Harry who's a young receiver. You throw in a mix of somebody else. I don't care who else, and they're healthy. Well, shit, you have a lot of people to cover now.
Right.
It makes it easier to throw to.
Yeah.
You can't one-on-one anybody. You just can't.
Which is what New England had all year because it was only one-on-one
right.
on
They
one guy.
double Edelman. You don't have a tight end to throw to. They double Edelman and freaking N'Keal Harry. He didn't play until week 8, 9 or whatever, week 10 or whatever it was.
And if you guys don't believe me,
and Mohamed Sanu didn't show up until week 11 or something like that.
And if you guys think that you have this great quarterback or you guys have this great team, look at the two teams who were in the Super Bowl. You got Kansas City, Tyreek Hill, Sammy Watkins, and Travis Kelce. Then you have San Francisco. Debo Samuel can sprint the field, be that deep threat. Emmanuel Sanders on the other side, and George Kittle. That's what you have.
That is the blueprint now for the NFL.
Exactly.
You've got to have those three guys. You got to have three like that.
Tom Brady would have freaking thrown the lights out of the building on both of those freaking teams with those three receivers, those three guys.
And think about it.
You're fucking. Everybody talks shit on Brady.
And think about it.
Give me a break. He would have freaking thrown the lights out of both of those teams.
He wouldn't even have had to. I mean, he could throw the light. Could you imagine if he played in San Francisco this year with the tools that San Francisco had?
Or what would he have done?
That team would have been undefeated.
What would he have done with freaking Tennessee and their run game and their receiving core?
So,
he could very well end up there.
But today's news is Tampa.
Tampa's going all in
Tampa
on him.
wants
I just saw that. I just wrote that down there. They're freaking going all in on Brady. I wrote that down there. That was my number 4.
So that means Winston is the guy.
Crab leg special, baby. Because they said they're all in on Tom Brady, number 1, number 2, Teddy Bridgewater. What's his name? Jameis? We're still interested in Jameis.
Yeah, after he had eye surgery.
He's the best. He's the best 30 for 30 guy there is.
Well, that whole offseason, when he had eye surgery, so now he can see.
I may harp on Tampa Bay a lot, but if there's a coach that I would love to play for, it's Bruce Arians. I really would love to play for
the quarterback whisperer.
Yeah. He's coached some of the best. He's coached some of the most mediocre quarterbacks into great careers, like Carson Palmer.
Well,
Carson Palmer.
But you remember early,
Peyton Manning.
Early on, Peyton,
mediocre guys.
Mediocre.
Ben Roethlisberger.
I forgot about him. He was in Pittsburgh.
Yeah, he was.
I forgot all about that.
So that brings up
he should have been head coach in Pittsburgh. They got rid of his ass.
But he's not really a Pittsburgh guy, though.
It doesn't matter. He would have been good for them.
Well, the only Super Bowl that he has is with Pittsburgh.
Yeah, but it's not like he wouldn't have done well in Pittsburgh. I mean, he's just that kind of a guy. He's a what they refer to as a player's coach.
Yeah.
He reaches out. He just connects with the players.
I know too many of those, apparently. So.
Yeah. But Mike Tomlin's done a great job with Pittsburgh. So.
Final thoughts on the rumors before we move to the shotgun round.
I think next week it all comes to a head.
It's like this is going to happen.
Yeah, it's the end of the freaking free agent period because the 16th is
it's like open season and deer hunting.
That's the drop dead date for Tom Brady.
The biggest thing is which team has.
That's what it is. You're going to find out where Tom Brady goes. He's either going to stay in New England and everybody's going to go, I told you so. I told you this coronavirus was bullshit.
Let's go get some fucking donuts, eh? Let's go to Donkeys.
Hey,
don't be talking bad about my Tommy now.
How did you park the car?
Yeah.
You use the smart park?
Do you use a smart park?
He smart parked the car out there?
God damn, we use a smart park.
I think the biggest thing going in, like you said, where Brady ends up sets the stage for everything else. And the other thing is, how much money does the team have under a cap to go get people?
Okay, with that being said, let's put this last thing up there. And that was my last thing is, what do you do with Dak Prescott then? because that was my last thing in this thing. We were talking about this before the show. Is there's no more rookie deal for this cat.
Oh, my God.
And his freaking agent must be freaking fondling the twigs and berries because they're talking $35 million for this cat.
And
Are you serious?
Yeah, but
Are you serious? He's due big bucks.
Yeah.
He's been healthy. He's been productive.
35.
But he's bordering on Russell Wilson MVP money.
But he's not any Russell
But
Wilson.
he and Russell Wilson.
Right.
But he's bordering on that money. There was some question as to whether that he had been offered a deal by Dallas early and he turned it down, wanting more money, and that if they don't get a deal done by early next week, they're going to franchise tag him, which pays him at the freaking top salaries in the league anyway. You know what I mean? I don't understand that.
This isn't meant to be a joke. Like, don't take this seriously if you're a Seattle fan. But Seattle and Dallas had the exact same teams last year, and Russell made the playoffs. I'm telling you right.
Yeah.
That is the offensive firepower.
No,
that
they're not
Dallas
the same
had.
team because
No, I'm saying like in terms of strengths.
Well, you're talking about player skill.
Yes,
Skill-
they had the
player
exact
skill-wise.
same.
I was
Coaching
gonna say-
is different.
I was going to say they had Pete Carroll and they had Jason Garrett.
Who's now going to be in New York.
Yeah, but I wouldn't say
Football
that Jason.
giants.
I wouldn't say that Jason Garrett was a bad play caller. He's not a play caller and a head coach. Clearly
He's just
not a
a
head
shithead.
coach.
Yeah,
Not a
he
head
can
coach
only
and
do one thing at a
managing those
time.
things.
Yeah.
But at the same time, he was trying to run the machine that is Jerry Jones. He was playing for the Dallas Jerry Joneses, the Dallas Jerrys, not
Yeah.
for
The
Dallas.
Jerry's Dallas Joneses.
Yeah, the Dallas Jerry Joneses. You're not playing.
So
for
it'll be,
just-
like you said, it'll be interesting to see what kind of offensive coordinator he is in New York without the Jerry show.
right, and he's
Without
going to be
that-
with Joe Judge, right?
Joe Judge.
Right, he's with the Giants, right?
Yeah.
And Joe Judge is the head coach of the Giants. Joe Judge
Doesn't
of the
he have
Giants.
Freddie Kitchens there with him as well as the
don't know,
quarterbacks
but-
coach?
Is
I
it?
want to say Freddie Kitchens is up there as well.
It doesn't. And
It doesn't matter
my
because,
God.
I mean,
and all I know is they're all products of freaking Bill Belichick.
well, the big thing is
Oh boy.
Joe Judge is.
Garrett's going to love it because of the fact he's got Saquon Barkley. That the running game's going to be the key, and he'll build
And
everything
he's got
around
a young
that.
kid, Daniel Jones. He's got a young kid.
Yep.
There's a lot of stuff that's going to go on there.
So we'll see. We'll see,
I wouldn't be surprised if the Giants didn't take a step up a notch.
or at least play 500. At least play 500. This
Yeah,
year.
playing better than what
9
they
and
were
7.
playing.
9-7. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Hey, sounds like winning a Super Bowl, doesn't it?
Yeah, because that is one.
Emotep won the freaking.
Yeah, and look, his ass got canned.
Yeah, he
down in
eventually. I
Jackson.
call him Emotep. Conklin.
All right. So let's move on to the shotgun round. Brian,
Coughlin.
you're up first.
All right.
Oh,
And
so
then we'll have
so
one
the,
each.
You're firing off
I get three questions.
You're going to
right?
fire off 3 questions. And then CJ has one and I have one.
All right, here you go. Here you go. I got a list here, so I have to pick which ones I want.
Oh, okay.
Best style of barbecue.
Best style of bar. I mean, I've always been Texas. I love Texas style
I'm
barbecue.
a Texas spicy guy, man. I love that.
When it comes to brisket and it comes to the barbecue sauce that goes with brisket, that stuff will make my mouth water right now.
I'm thinking I love Tex-Mex, the whole brand. I just love that.
Okay, best style of barbecue. You're both saying Texas.
Yeah.
Texas brisket. I'm in North Carolina.
I've had both. I like
I'm in North Carolina.
pork,
pork
yeah.
and vinegar
You like
based.
the vinegar-based stuff?
With-
I've been down there.
with the coleslaw on it.
I went to Georgia this past summer and went to a coaching clinic, and we went to a freaking mom and pop. It was a house. It was somebody's house that was converted into a barbecue freaking place where you could sit in there and eat freaking. I ate ribs, St. Louis style ribs. Oh my God! I could have sat
Well,
there
you see
all
that was
afternoon.
the whole reason I brought that question up, because you got Texas barbecue, you've got Kansas City,
Yeah,
you
Kansas
got
City,
Memphis,
yeah. I love.
you got Memphis barbecue, and then you got North Carolina stuff.
Yeah.
So you guys are Texas brisket.
You hear that, West Coast people? You guys have nothing.
Yeah, you eat that. twigs and rocks.
Eat your damn
shit.
caviar,
Yeah,
okay?
No, they're eating the hummus. And,
I was gonna say some freaking tumbleweed shit with it, like hummus. That's
Hummus.
the only thing.
What is this, a
Hummus.
spaghetti western out
No,
there?
ground tumbleweed. That's hummus.
All right, so that was my first question. Best style barbecue. Second, what condiments go best on a brat sandwich or brat? What condiments go best on a bratwurst?
Jalapeno mustard. Condiments, or can I have something else besides that?
Well, okay, and I'll rephrase the question. What goes best with brats?
There's three things. Onions, peppers, jalapeno mustard. I love green peppers, red peppers, and onions, and a jalapeno mustard. Now, if I could eat it with a bun, oh my God, I'd weigh fucking 400 pounds. But I could eat that. CJ cooks the brats up, and he knows I'll smother it in the freaking onions and the peppers, and I just put the freaking jalapeno mustard on there. I destroy it like that.
I'm the opposite. I just like ketchup on mine. Because it's the same thing. It's
God,
the same,
CJ likes ketchup on his ketchup.
It's the same thing with like a hot dog. Like I like it simple with that type of stuff.
That always reminds me of that one scene from Dirty Harry. The guy's eating a hot dog. He goes, "What, you put ketchup on it? Just hot dogs, just mustard."
Right.
So that's question 2.
I like that one. I like
right.
that. But that just made my mouth water. And we had burgers tonight.
Oh, yeah.
I had a plain burger.
Okay, since we're on a food kick, might as well go with the last one.
This is good. I'm going to mark that for next week.
All right, if you're on a desert island
Uh-oh.
and you're only allowed to have 3 foods with you, an unlimited supply, you're only allowed 3 foods on a desert island, what 3 foods would you take? Or what 3 foods would you eat?
On a desert island, I can bring anything I want.
It's 3 foods that you would have an unlimited supply. That was the only 3 things you could eat on a desert island.
Oh my God, I don't know.
All right, I have 2 right now. I don't
Really?
Yeah, I have 2 because I'm trying to think of like nutritious value.
You're on a desert island. You'll probably die there by yourself. You might as well-
All right, cool. I was thinking of this in a smart way, but you guys said fuck that. Okay.
I mean, you're on a desert island. There's no hope for.
Well, I don't know. I gotta have
The only 3 foods that you would ever want to have that. Well, think about it. It's like a death sentence anyway, because you're on a desert island. They're going to find you. So, what 3 foods would
I'm
be
on
the
an
only
island
3
now.
foods you'd want to eat?
Well, my first one is spaghetti.
You're on a desert island. How the hell are you
Well,
gonna get spaghetti?
that's not the point.
It's not the point.
The point
dude.
is the 3 foods that you would want to spend the rest of your life eating
Oh shit! I'm
on
screwed.
a desert island.
Well, I would
I'm
want
gonna
spaghetti
die.
because
I'm gonna
if-
die.
I would want spaghetti
He
as
says
one.
spaghetti. I say lasagna.
Okay, that's 1 each. You got 2 more. You got 2 more.
The other one's burgers, but I don't need the buns. I would
I
just
don't need a bun because I'm
I
not
would just
eating a
eat the
burger.
burger.
I'm eating a big fucking steak. I want a steak.
Oh my
I want
God, he just killed me. I should have thought of steak. What the
want-
hell?
Well, you can come up with your own.
steaks. You gotta have freaking nice steaks. Because plenty of fat would give you the energy you need. It could sustain life.
Well,
And then-
my 3 are pizza, French fries, and New York strip steaks. That would be it.
My last one is fried chicken. My last one is fried
See,
chicken.
I would go freaking
Crab legs.
Alaskan style.
Oh, my
Dude,
God.
I could
Really?
destroy. I could destroy.
So that's a great question. Isn't it?
Yeah, man.
Yeah, I'd eat.
If I'm gonna, I can't die if I got those foods. I can't die. I'm
pizza,
I'm
French
immortal.
fries, boom.
But I'm immortal then if I have those.
New York strip.
Please make me immortal.
Yeah.
So those
we
are my
went to
3.
that. I went to that coaching clinic, and we have this thing called the Survivors Dinner, which is the last night we're there. It's on Saturday evening, and we go to the Outback Steakhouse, and I got prime rib. That was like an
the
inch
prime
and a half
rib
thick.
there
I got the
is
prime,
fabulous,
I got the
yeah.
prime rib with
That's the only thing there that's fabulous.
onions. I got it with the onions, and the guy I asked him.
Did you get the Béarnaise sauce? Too?
No, I got it with. I got au jus on the side with the fresh horseradish.
Oh yeah, horseradish is good. Yeah.
And then I asked the guy if I could have a double helping of the broccoli with cheese, and they brought me out this big ass container of broccoli and cheese. And he goes, I thought you'd like this as well. And he went, boof, and he dropped this big side of freaking bacon on top of it. It was
my
awesome.
God.
It was
Oh,
awesome.
you could just hear
did.
your arteries
Yeah.
just screaming like,
Yeah, it was awesome. Yeah, it was. And then I freaking hammered a big tall beer.
You're getting a
good.
big tip.
Yeah, I did.
Right.
I did. I gave him
all right, so there's
$5
my,
more bucks than what I should have. But
so
it
there's
was,
my 3 for the shotgun.
yeah. Okay, that was good. I
Yeah.
like that. The
Yeah.
food. I wrote that down. Food for shotgun round. All right, CJ.
Oh, am I going?
You want to
first?
go or you want me to go? I'll
So
go.
I get to answer this time,
I'll
huh?
go first.
All right.
So like it's actually a question that I asked him last time.
Uh-oh.
Because like we both had different answers. What's the thing that you hate most about people?
Body odor.
Body odor.
Yeah, you run into somebody who's got body odor. Oh man, that's the worst. Especially in close
Close proximity.
part. And then being a school teacher, and I taught for 15 years in the middle school. You want to talk about body odor? Oh my
little
God.
Stinky bastards.
No, they are. Middle school kids are the stinkiest people on the planet because they don't know what a shower
I
is,
don't know
and
if
they
you've
don't
been
know
to
what
a homeless shelter
and
before,
they don't
but
know,
go
well,
on.
and they don't know what deodorant is. But that's the biggest turnoff about people: body odor. Immediately comes to mind for me.
Well, I said laziness, and he said lying.
Don't
so, yeah.
fucking lie to me. Just
Well, yeah,
don't
yeah.
lie. You
I
know
mean,
what I mean?
but I mean-
VO, that's good.
Yeah, I mean body odor.
I didn't think of that, but
Go ahead.
yeah. Oh, okay. So you find a case with huge cash, and it's all yours. Huge cash. It's over $1 million, and it's all yours. First purchase, and I don't want to hear any bullshit. I'm paying off bills, and I'm going to buy a house. I don't want to hear anything. What's the first big purchase you're making?
I'm buying a fucking truck.
What, a truck? Yeah, it's $1 million plus, and you're buying a truck.
Yes, I'm buying a truck.
You could buy a couple of trucks. You could
I don't care. I
you
want
could
a
buy
new
several
car.
trucks.
I would like a new car, and it'll be a truck. What is wrong with that? I have never been a rich person, and I have never
Well,
come
I
into
mean-
money before, and so like,
I mean, since you took out, you can't take care of all your debt, and you can't.
Yeah.
I know. I was
If
gonna
I
say
had, if I had like $1 million laying around, man, I'd be sponsoring a race team.
Yeah, okay.
I'd be throwing money at a sprint car team right now.
Yeah, well, throw
Because
some money.
that's what I love right now.
fine.
Man,
I
to
said
be a couple-
I would probably go something. I would probably do something like a freaking badass vacation for like a large.
Well,
group of
not
people.
right now with Corona 19 running around. You wouldn't
Yeah.
want to do that.
Yeah, but I mean, you know what I mean? I want to go on a vacation with like, if I had the money and it wasn't mine, I just found it, I would want to go on vacation with like 20 people and just say, hey, we're fucking taking this airplane and we're going to a fucking island and we're just going to get freaking wrecked for an entire week.
Oh, yeah.
We're just going.
Yeah.
And don't worry about the money. It's covered.
Yeah.
And just go.
That would be cool too.
You know what I mean? And just forget about it. It wasn't my money to begin with. It's money, whatever. Let's just do it.
and then halfway through the vacation, you say, "The drug dealers found me. We got to go." Right?
No, I just put the stipulation. It's all yours. Who
They
cares?
found the money.
Yeah.
All right.
And then they start taking
But
me out left
but
and
nobody
right.
would do that because we were all very conscious people. I'd be
Yeah.
out of debt and everything. My house would be
Yeah,
paid
nobody.
for. and,
I can pay for my house.
Get
Get
my debt card maybe buy a new car.
I'll get a new car. I'll get a Ford Escort. Shut your ass. No one buy a fucking Porsche or something. You know what I mean?
but
Be something
I'm
really nice.
fat. I don't fit in a Porsche. Like, why would I buy a Porsche?
You would fit in a Panamera. That's a bigger car, man.
I don't want a sports car though.
Oh, shut up.
I'm not like you.
You would get a nice SUV, a large SUV.
Okay, I would get an Escalade. I would get one of those.
The hybrid, or because they sell hybrids now.
Yeah.
No, I would just get the extended one. I don't know.
No, you remember your mother had that. What was that Nissan we used to have?
Armada?
The Armada was we had a really
Well, I have a
nice.
Pathfinder parked out there. You want to go look
Yeah.
at it?
Well,
had
I
a-
used to drive that when I had my permit. Like, that was the thing I drove more than my car that I have right now.
Kathy and I were looking around when the kids were getting to
Driving age.
just before their teen years, getting
Right.
to a certain point where we were wherever we went, we were going on vacation. We had extra shit with us all the time.
Well,
Because
that's what
when-
parents do.
You know, we just had all
every
of
time
our
I go
stuff.
anywhere with my wife, you take the entire fucking house with you everywhere you
right.
go.
You know,
Well, it's better to need it
That's how it was.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what we were doing. And it wasn't like the kids were really young. They
Right.
were 14, 15 years old,
Yeah.
and we had to take a bunch of stuff with us. And so we had a Nissan Armada Limited, and we got this hellacious deal on this car, and that thing was phenomenal. It was power. It was big. It had all the luxuries in it. It was, and the only reason we got rid of it is so that I could get my truck, because it was impractical to take things to the freaking dump and stuff like that. And we didn't want to get rid of it. And I was like, I don't want to get rid of it. And she's like, well, what do we do? And I was like, having the truck would be nice and everything. So that's how we settled on the extra cab freaking
Extended cab.
the Tundra. And shit, the Tundra's got just as much leg room and cab room without the
Right.
third.
That was one of the things.
third-
that was one of the
third
things when
row
I bought
seating.
this. When I just got this, 2 months ago,
I
I wanted a
and
truck.
I
and
thought it was really. I mean, that's a great looking car. It's way better than I thought it would be.
Yeah.
Because the old style Pathfinders do not look like that.
Yeah, but that was the big thing, So I mean, it fell in that deal. So,
Yeah.
But
Okay.
Yeah, man.
Hops. You guys can go ahead and start off.
all right, I got a great one.
Not as good as mine.
Well,
I only have one.
I only have one.
well, here you go.
All right.
We're in this new world where everybody gets woke.
COVID-19.
Well,
Oh,
no, it's
sorry.
not
Sorry,
COVID-19.
okay.
Everybody's woke now. I saw a story this week that's kind of went like, oh my God, what's wrong with America? Playboy magazine now has become woke. Instead of, for years and years and years, what they would do is the previous year they would pick one of the playmates
Playmate of the year.
and make Playmate of the Year.
Right.
They would pick one of the 12 and elevate them to Playmate of the Year.
Right.
They are so woke now because they don't want to be decisive or divisive or anything. They want to be inclusive. They've done away with the Playmate of the Year because all 12 now are just as important.
They're pretty smoking hot.
Well,
though,
they
so
all
who
are,
cares?
but you always picked one above. So they've taken out the competition now of even being Playmate of the Year because now it's like giving a participation trophy to everybody. So what the hell's wrong with this country?
I don't mind that much.
Well, but it's the principle.
They can all
thing.
participate.
It's the principle thing that you always picked one. And I mean, think about how many Playmates of the Year were just fabulous.
Yeah.
And now they're going, well, we're not going to pick one over anybody. We're so inclusive now.
Right.
I'm going like, what the? It's like participation grade or participation, trophies and kids sports and everything else. Everybody wins. Everybody plays. What happened to being the best of the best?
Yeah, what happened to competition, the spirit of
Competition,
competition and stuff.
So
Yeah.
even playing
my rack's nicer than your rack,
Yeah, my dimensions are better than yours.
Yeah, I shave my bush into a heart better than yours and shit like that.
So I mean, it just when I saw the article, I said, "What the hell's wrong with America?" now?"
Yeah, it's just it's the evolution of mankind
I
and
guess.
how we try to treat each other nicer,
not
and yet
this-
all
not
we
this-
do is alienate each other, and we
Yeah.
create this great divide.
Yeah.
It's a shame. It's a damn shame.
All right, so that was my hop of the week. Now
That's pretty good.
even Playboy now is woke.
Yeah. All right. So I checked this out. I saw this one. Apparently it's everywhere. I think the 2020 version. Let me check really quick. I saw this earlier. 2020 wife world. Damn it! I can't spell. All right. There it is. Where's it at? Oh, this year is in Finland. This one's in Finland. This year's in Finland. Last year was in England. The wife carrying world championships. And this year it is a competition of sometimes it's husbands carrying wives. Sometimes it's somebody carrying somebody's wife. But it is generally speaking a man carrying a woman, right? And I found out that the course length is usually 250 meters. It's some sort of track. which is roughly in America, since we're talking America, is roughly 275 yards. There are 2 dry obstacles. There's at least 1 wet obstacle of 3 meters deep, or 1 meter deep, which is
3 feet or so.
3 feet, between 3 feet or so. And the woman must be a minimum of 110 pounds. That's the minimum. The winner gets, guess what?
Beer.
Yes. They get the woman's weight in beer as the trophy. How cool is that shit? How cool is that? That's what they get. That's the women's.
So you mean if someone could weigh like 280 pounds, they get 280 pounds of beer?
Yes, they get the women's weight,
Oh
and
my God.
they get a barrel of beer based on the woman's weight. And so that's what they do. They have a track that they follow. There's at least there can be more. There's at least 2 dry obstacles, at least 1 water obstacle that's at least roughly 3 feet
meters deep. All right.
1 meter deep.
1 meter deep.
3 plus feet deep. And it covers 275 yards. So that's going 2 3/4 football fields length with a woman over your shoulder. Now, you must carry her over your shoulders. Now, how you do that is completely up to you, whether it's a straddle, a fireman's carry, or whatever it is. The safety of the individual is up to you, but they must carry safety They must have a safety equipment. The only equipment that the person carrying them can have is a belt. Some sort of I guess, I'm thinking weightlifting belt kind of thing.
Yeah.
And that's
So
what
you
they
don't
do.
strain the cojones.
Yeah. And so I'm watching this shit I'm watching the videos and stuff like that. These dudes are trying like hell to win.
Winning weight in
They're
beer.
running with women on their shoulder for beer. And I thought, how cool is that? And this year's is in Finland. Last year's was in England. Every year, a small town in Finland hosts the International Wife Carrying Championships, during which husbands have to carry wives along a track with various obstacles.
I wonder if that'll get woke too, so it doesn't matter who the wife is.
Yeah.
That's pretty damn cool.
Yeah.
Because I weigh over 300,
Yeah.
so I could get 300 pounds worth of beer.
Yeah, but it's crazy.
But somebody
And
would
can
have to
see 'em.
carry you.
You can
at
see
300
them.
pounds.
You can see them. I mean,
Oh God, look at that.
look at the women. They're just freaking strapped on. That water's deeper than it looks.
Ooh, guy dropped his wife.
They eat it hard, but it's all based on time. I mean,
Can you imagine the wife has to hold her breath if he dumped in there with her hanging backwards?
She's
like
hanging backwards over his back and splashing into the water. If he loses his balance, that last year they had 80 contestants vying for the trophy of a barrel of beer.
Phew.
And they have them in North America. They have them all over the place now.
Wow.
Yeah, all for beer. How cool is that?
All right, what's your
That's
hop?
Nectar.
my hops of the day, or hops of the week.
Yeah, my hops. Harvey Weinstein was finally sentenced to 23 years now in prison.
23 years?
But there are more charges still to come.
Well, that's only the New York charges. He's still got all the California ones in front of him.
He still has multiple, and I mean multiple charges coming. But he was just sentenced to 23 years from New York.
I thought he was a freaking LA favorite. I thought he was a movie favorite guy.
Well, as long as he was paying the money out. But now that everybody's turned on him.
Figures.
I think it's really disgusting. Like,
Yeah.
Well, I mean,
He's the Joker with the casting couch kind of thing,
Yeah,
right? Where he
yeah.
had all them young
Yeah.
actresses
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
yeah,
It was
Do you think he had
to
any
a-
boys with him?
well, I doubt it.
That
I
was
think
put
he was
I'm
more.
just
I think
curious.
he was more of a chick guy.
Okay.
That was in a video game actually, where they had basically like a police investigation about this guy who is filming these videos with these little girls, and it was in a video game, and it was about Harvey Weinstein. It was just about that. So it's even followed into video game culture about how sickening it really is.
All right, the last thing I want to bring up, since we started the show with it, we'll end with it, about the whole coronavirus. Did you see the videos of parents in Memphis, Tennessee about the corona stuff? There is apparently in Memphis a certain segment of the population has gone just off the deep end over this coronavirus stuff. So when they're picking their kids up from school, they were videotaping parents spraying their kids with Lysol and all different kinds of disinfectant. And some mother showed up wearing her own homemade hazmat suit. It was made out of Walmart plastic bags in a garbage bag, and she had a hood on. It's just unbelievable. And they were interviewing her, and she goes, I can't believe that they don't disinfect at school, so I have to disinfect my kid when he gets out of school. And they show this parent taking this Lysol can and spraying her kids from the top of his head to his shoes.
You don't disinfect your kids with a Lysol can.
She was doing it. I mean, literally doing it. And then they showed her, and she was standing there in this garbage bag with plastic Walmart things on her shoes and everything else.
What was that in? What was
Memphis, Tennessee.
They're not a fucking bug that needs to get killed off of a window.
What can I put that in?
Just put Memphis coronavirus video.
Oh my God, you people
gotta
are
see
idiots.
it. It is unbelievable.
You people are just insane and so stupid when it comes to understanding.
It was literally like a Fox local affiliate was talking about parents and coronavirus or something outside of some school, and they were showing these parents spraying their kids when they came out of school.
Maybe I should put coronavirus, Memphis coronavirus Lysol.
Yeah.
It doesn't show anybody. I don't see anything.
There's a news site called Whatafinger. WATAFINGER. Whatafinger news site, and type in Memphis coronavirus and see if you get the video.
Okay, well you can look that up, but we're gonna go ahead and get out of here.
Whatafinger?
Whatafinger, yeah.
Whatafinger news site. Okay, but we're going to go ahead and get out of here.
Right.
Well, I enjoyed myself. Even for the short notice, this was great. I enjoyed myself today.
Well, it might be a short notice on your life due to this coronavirus.
Yeah, coronavirus.
I hope you make it back.
Yeah.
Hope you make it back home safe, because I know you have a lot of people at your house, but they disinfected with some Lysol because that's a smart decision. Yeah. But thank you all for listening. We hope you have a safe week. Please just go outside and socialize. Do not stay inside. Don't listen to your media outlets. Just do what you've been doing, and you'll be fine. Okay? We hope you have a safe week. We hope you have a good week. We'll actually be back on Sunday with another episode. We have another special guest coming on. So, but until then, guys. No, go. Did you want to say something?
Well, I was going to say, who's the special guest?
It's Vigna.
Josh Vigna.
It'll be his last
friend
time.
of mine.
So, yeah.
He's going to be the last time for a while. I just want to wish him and his young wife to be best of luck. She's going to undergo surgery tomorrow, and hopefully, good Lord willing, things will turn out just right for her. And yeah, it's going to be good.
Good.
Yeah.
But like I said, until next time, have a good day, guys. Peace out. Love you.